What's up, everybody? It's your favorite tracker's favorite nerd. Today we are looking at X Transbots Scourge, and we'll get to him. He comes with a fair amount of accessories, this bit being one. It's the Target Master. It doesn't really work in terms of holding together. You know what? We'll get to that. Underneath, as you can see, he has these landing gear. They roll just fine, and we'll tab them up now just for the... Lost a light. Just for the sake of this, these pieces have a tendency to come out, just as a FYI. Alright, now, real quick, he has a weapon that stores inside of him. You can pull that piece out there, and then untab these interlocking teeth, and voila, there is his gun. And it tabs in to this little hole that you can see right there. And then you can try to get these interlocking teeth to lock back up. And close that up, and that's him without. Now, we'll get back to him. He comes with a display stand in two pieces. Bottom, top, I think it's might be identical to Sencho's. I'll have to take a look. Now, in order to get him to sit on there, you plug it into this piece here, which is on a spring, and like that. Whoop. Raise it up, and that's a pretty cool look. And it's it works just fine. It doesn't feel like it would be stable, but it works just fine. So I'm happy with that as well. Set that to the side. And then he also comes with I think the Apollyon ball joints for the shoulders again, and a little screwdriver. I am racking up these little screwdrivers from these third-party companies. I'm gonna have a whole fleet of little small screwdrivers. And then this little piece that says Apollyon mace weapon connector. So I don't know. That's that though. Now, you can also, I believe, plug this weapon in there, yeah. If you like that look. And that sort of covers the accessories, for the most part. We'll get to another one later. And now we'll talk about this guy, which is gun-ish. It's a gun-ish shape, I guess. It's not really effective. It doesn't, just aesthetically, it doesn't really pull it off. I don't feel like I don't know, maybe if you adjust the back end of it up a little bit, but it just doesn't look right. It looks like a mess. But to transform it, undo the arms, and then bring the legs down, fold that in and up at the same time, situate the legs, and rotate the feet. Bring the arms down, bring this tail bag back, and that's this fella. And he's okay, and like in robot mode, he's kind of cool. I don't think he really works for gun mode, so I definitely won't be having him in gun mode on my shelf. But we'll talk about him. Head is on a swivel, which is smart as opposed to a typical KFC tiny little ball joint. We got a ball hinge. Well, no, this total ball peg shoulders, connected, which is like attached and connected to the shoulder, which is then on like a soft kind of ratchet pinned in there. No bicep swivel, double jointed elbows, getting you the full gambit. Nothing else. Same on the other side. Nothing for you get a little bit of a ab crunch sort of kinda. It's not a proper one. It's a cheat, but you can pull off some pictures and stuff with it probably. Ball jointed T joints for hips. Getting you everything you need there. Knee, get you everything you could want. ankle, no tilt. I'm sorry. You got a tilt, no reel. You know what? You got a little bit of a rocker in there. I'll give it to him. We'll give it to him. For this size figure, we'll give it to him. I think he's alright. He's hollow back in here. Really bad, but I think it kind of works still. You know, for being what it is and what he's supposed to do. I like the proportions. I like robots with like longer legs. I think it just makes them look more imposing. So anyway, it works for me. The paint is not really there, with the exception of the face, which has the red and yellow, which is, to its credit, done really well. So let's talk about this. The colors look great, like the shades of blue. Mine has a lot of gaps, like gaps in here, and like the most frustrating one is this one here, between the head and this sort of piece. And then this piece doesn't really stay still, which I find irritating. But the rest of it, like the body of it, is pretty much good to go. I like all the silver paint in there and the red paint and all those little accents and stuff. I think that looks good. I don't know what's up with these here. I don't know why mine keep falling out. This one, yeah, it looks like it was supposed to be glued and the glue came undone. I don't know, but I do find it a bit frustrating. Size-wise, we'll do a size comparison to something that's kind of relevant, I guess. There's my slipper, and I wear an 11.5 wide, ladies, if you know what I'm saying.
The sizes don't correlate, ladies.
Do you really wanna hurt me? But anyway, the one thing I do want to talk about is I got paint chips all along the seams of this light blue. So I'm not exactly, I guess it's I just didn't notice before, but oh, it just looks terrible. It's an eyesore for me. Stuff like that really bothers me. I don't know if you can see all that. I don't care for that. One other thing that this thing can do is if you like twist this whole head assembly down and then slide this whole bit up, it's tight, and then those pieces will pop off because they're obnoxious. And then rotate the head up and then slide this piece down here to kind of where you see fit, and you can have like the head popping up. And I've lost his look, and this is falling off. I'm getting aggravated already. I'm just going to leave those aside. I'm going to take this one off too. Don't get hung up on that quite yet. We're going to take a look at that here in a minute. Let's do it in a montage, ladies and germs. Open these arms up here, bring them out. Take these side panels that we talked about to store the weapon, pull them out. The reason why these colors don't match is because this color is painted on. Unplug the teeth here and here. Chances are these are already starting to come untabbed, but if they haven't, untab them down at the bottom on the outside and fold them around. Untab these from the outside, pull them around. Fold these inner wings down. For the back piece, you need to get this to fold up, and then spin this around, fold this piece up, fold these pieces down, fold the whole head assembly back, fold this back assembly up, rotate the arms down, bring the head around. On the back piece behind his head, bring these side panels up and fold them in, and then fold these two pieces down to create this, like, rotate this whole piece up, and that pops the wings out, which is pretty cool. Like, it just kind of happens naturally. Situate the arms, open up these, rotate the hands out, close that. Same on the other side, elbow forward, open up this flap here, hand out, close it, put the hands in the right position. For the legs, pull them apart, rotate them towards the front. On the back, rotate the landing gear out, fold the calves back about halfway. Okay, this part I want you to pay special attention to because it sucks, and it's not really clear on how to do it, and I've learned a way that kind of helps me. So what they want is they want you to have most of the foot coming out of the calf here, like between in the bottom of the calf, which is why they want you to have this at a 90-degree angle. Now they tell you to push the foot through with the finger, but you can't do that. So what I suggest doing is bringing this whole assembly up, this whole foot assembly up from the back side. Alright, get this piece out of the way, fold the foot, just the bottom part of the toe, which isn't easy. Let me, as far in there as you can. Now, once you have it in there, this piece here is on a ratchet, so you got to push it down and then use that as a lever to kind of push the foot up in there. That should get you pretty much what you want to get this foot through this space. And then fold out the landing gear and take this piece here and push this down and tab that into let's see, the back of the calf. So that's how the foot looks. Bring it towards you, take the heel, move it back out of the way, rotate the heel up right now. Now bend this towards you, push the calf, pull the calf towards you, good grief, while pushing the foot in. You'll get it to a certain point where you can push, you can aim this heel back and then use the heel to push the foot as you're rotating the calf back. Once you rotate the calf back, tuck that piece in, tuck the landing gear in, collapse it, and now you just clean up the feet. Same on the other side. Sorry. And then you kind of just have to adjust this as you want it. Alright, so let's talk about them. Let's talk about the obvious elephant in the room. No beard. It should have been glued in. It probably wasn't, and it probably came unpegged at some point. I've taken him apart. You hear that's not actually the beard. That is that door. It has a tendency to shake, rattle, and roll. To see it, to hear it. Anyway, this we'll talk about because this holds the matrix. But we'll do that in a minute. Let's talk about the figure's articulation. So, head is on a hinged swivel. Now, I don't think mine was misassembled. However, if someone else has this guy, feel free to let me know. But it looks like he can look up, but he can't really look down because that hits against that. I don't know if this piece, this neck piece, is on backward. If it's not, I'm not sure I like it like that. But anyway, you get a little bit up, it hits up against his collar, and then you get really nothing down, and then you get the side to side. So it's my favorite type of masterpiece neck joint. It's just poorly executed. As far as paint, I don't think there is any except for the black on the mustache. And then it has light up features, but you know I don't put batteries in my toys. I'm kind of relatively against it just due to corrosion issues. Let's see. So moving down the figure, this blue, as we've talked about, has that like metallic speck finish. It's okay. And then we have a hinged, like a universal joint here. The ratchets are perfect. Like they're nicely, tightly placed. I don't know if nicely, tightly placed is a well-spoken way to describe this, but it is. It's really well done. And then you get the hinge out to there. So all good. Bicep swivel right there. Double jointed elbow. The elbows are a little weird looking. but it's not, it's not the worst thing in the world. It is just a little strange. Then we have the light blue paint on all of this. Wrist swivel, not really a hinge in there, and then you get a baby KFC ball joint at that knuckle, which hinges there and then hinges at the claw, and then each one of these fingers is individually articulated on little tiny KFC ball joints, and I'm not a fan of that. All on hinges except for the ball joint at the base knuckle, so not my favorite. And then look at this. Oop. Go back here. No, I don't want to. So that's just KFC. All right, this bit here, this opens up and it has that little bit of business there. So there's that, and same articulation on the other arm. It does have this darker blue metallic look there, which is nice. Waist swivel, it does get a little impinged by this backpack, but not to a point where it's really problematic. I think you get everything you want out of a waist swivel, but it's not really going to help you out a whole bunch. But I don't mind it. Of all the things that I mind about this figure, that's not it. And then you get these waist skirts here to allow these universal joints to get the full gambit, and then nice ratchets once again, forward and back. Once again, really nicely placed ratchets. And then the thigh swivel is built into the universal joint. And then you get a double jointed knee with a ratchet at the lower joint and a just friction joint at the upper one, getting you 90 degrees, so we're good there. The feet. The feet are just not the most well thought out things, but you get the tilt. I mean, all the articulation is there. You don't really get much up, but the toe hinges, like there's a hinge here and then there's a hinge there, and I think that, I don't know. No, those are both friction, and then this heel is on a universal, a ratchet, and then this joint is hinged as well. So you just have to manipulate the feet, but you can get everything you want out of them, and then the rocker goes to, an obnoxious point, but it just doesn't really, I don't know. It's an odd design. It works. It's just maybe not ideal. A little bit of paint there, the light blue on the dark blue there, and then all the other red detailing there on the feet, and all that looks good. And then we have like the wings, which are on ratchets here, which is nice, like a hinge. And then you get this hinge here, and then there's all this dust on the inside, which might be mold release. I don't know. We've talked about it, but my buddies and I, but I don't know. And then this moves around, but you probably wouldn't want it to. And the back cleans up really well, and I like how the red detailing is up there. I feel like it's got to be washed. Like it's not clean. Like it's either dust or it's mold release or something. But it's just it makes me want to wash my hands. So yeah, and then we'll plug his gun in here to see how well he holds that. Well, no problems there. And yeah, so there's just like, there's just issues, like QC issues. Like this guy could have been great, but there's little QC issues. But I'll tell you what, maybe we'll fix it. Fix it with a little beard. Yeah, much better. There's a size comparison next to MP Rodimus, and I think that looks pretty good. And DX9's Carry, and I think that looks maybe even better, but it may be just that I like Carry better. Alright, before we do final thoughts, let's do this Matrix. So we'll take his beard off for just a minute. And then we'll open this up here. We'll open that up. And then we'll put that inside. Close it up, and there you go. Storing the Matrix. Put his beard back on. So, final thoughts. Okay, there's QC issues. Like my finger joint, that's just poorly designed. The beard is not there. These blue bits are constantly falling off. And that's all stuff that they could have fixed. That's what's frustrating about it. And the fact that they didn't clean the thing. Like, it looks like I did one of those track meets where you put your hands in the chalk and then I mess with this guy. Like, that's what it looks like. Outside of the QC issues, The foot transformation is just not the most well-designed thing in the world. It's frustrating, and it's not smooth, and it doesn't really finish well. Like, it always seems, I mean, like, don't get me wrong, it works. It's just awkward. You just got to pose him right, and he's fine, and it's efficient, but it seems wrong. Outside of that, there's a couple other little minor gripes that I have, like the elbows are throwing me off a little bit, but that's really a nitpicky kind of a thing. But the carelessness of the mistakes is what's frustrating here. And it's frustrating because this is probably the best thing that X Transbots has ever done, arguably the best thing that KFC as a whole has ever done. The plastic feels better than what I'm used to with them. I'm not sure if it's my mind playing tricks on me or if it's actually better, but it feels better. The ratchets are well placed, and the ratchets work fantastic. Maybe some of the best ratchets I've ever seen in a transforming figure. Not lying to you. They're really nicely done. The articulation is there. The paint isn't really there, but with the flex and the finish and all that kind of stuff, it kind of works. The paint complaint that I have is painting the light blue on top of the dark blue. I guess they wanted to do that so they know that most people are going to have it displayed like this, so they don't want the imperfections where most people are going to have it displayed. But the fact that there are those imperfections, like those cracks in the creases of the wings, it drives a guy like me nuts. But in all fairness, the color breakup in general and the paint that is applied in general is well done. Not perfect, but well done, and definitely looks the part. Do I recommend him? That depends. If you want to have 3 sweeps for your shelf, then yes, I would get him. I would get the Fanstoys one and wait and see if anybody else does one and get 3. This way you get to experience 3 different molds. They'll all look a bit more unique and you can have them. If you're only going to do one Scourge and your money's tight and you want to spend wisely, I'd wait and see what Fanstoys is doing. They showed the Silhouette one. I think it'd be worth seeing what they've got in store. But just realize that's going to be a while from now. So for me, I want 3. This will be my one of 3. It'll definitely be a sweep. It won't be Scourge. At least that's the way that I would predict it at this point. It shows a lot of growth on behalf of KFC and X Transbots. It shows a lot of growth. It shows that maybe greater stuff is coming down the pike. But I feel like they got excited that they were actually making something good, and as a result, let some things go that should have never been left go. These blue pieces should have been glued in. Get rid of the light up gimmick and glue the pieces in so they're not falling all over the place. The joints should work. There's no need to individually articulate each figure if you can't get it right. Just do enough for the figure to be efficient and then do it correctly. That's my beef. And clean the product. It shouldn't look like a cokehead sneezed all over this thing. And then make sure the facial hair is right so I don't have to improvise with a cotton ball. So do I recommend it? Maybe. If you want 3 and you want this guy in the background. Do I think it's terrible? No, I think it's pretty good. It's just there's some lazy errors. And that's frustrating. And it's frustrating because it's so close to being really good. And I would like for this company to be really good. Because I think they have some aesthetic cues that are spot on. It's just getting it to be functional. So thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. Until next time, take care.